I call this City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Tuesday, May 26, 2026, to order at 6:03 p.m. May we please stand for the invocation provided by Commissioner Kyle Williams, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, gracious God, we thank you for our gathering here tonight for our City Commission meeting. Father God, we thank you for how we're able to come together and do the business of the City of Pahokee and make the best decisions that are good for our residents and that are good for our city. God, we just thank you for how you just continue to work with us, and Father God, and how you anoint our tongues, God, and how we can just say things that's going to be respectful of each other as we make the best decisions for this city. Thank you for our residents and how you continue to bless them, Father God, and continue to bless our city. And we ask you for all these blessings in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Babb,
Present.
Vice Mayor McDonald,
Present.
Commissioner Calvin Williams,
Present.
Commissioner McPherson,
Present.
Commissioner Scott,
Present.
City Manager,
Present.
City Attorney,
Here.
City Clerk is present.
Thank you, City Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, staff, and most importantly, thank our audience for being here to participate and witness us as we deliberate in our regular commission meeting of May 26, 2026. At this time, City Manager, do we have any additions on emergency basis or any deletions to our agenda item?
None.
Thank you, ma'am. City Commission, having heard there are no deletions or addition to our agenda, what is your pleasure?
Mayor Babb, I move that we accept the agenda as printed.
A second.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor McDonough and properly second by Commissioner Williams for the adoption of the agenda as presented. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor McDonald,
Yes.
Commissioner Calvin Williams,
Yes.
Commissioner McPherson,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Mayor Babb.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Motion passed by unanimous vote. Next, we'll have presentation, proclamation, public service announcement, public comments, agenda items only. At this time, City Clerk, do we have any public service cards completed?
No, sir, not at this time.
Thank you. We do have two presentations, and I'll have our city manager present those as they come forward.
The first on the agenda for presentation is Lore. And LORE stands for Lake Okeechobee Regional Economic Alliance of Palm Beach County.
First, excuse me. First, I'd like to say good evening.
Good evening.
And thank you for allowing us to come to you this afternoon and give you a little bit about what we're trying to do as an organization. A little bit about LORE. We are, from our inception, one of the charter members. From our inception, we made up of all the cities. There are members from all the cities as a part of this organization. From first inception, when we first started out, Pahokee had a commissioner at the table and a city manager. Belgrade had a commissioner and city manager. South Bay had a commissioner and city manager at the table to organize this organization and let us function. The major thing that we do is we try to bring businesses and organizations to our community, work closely with the BDP Board of Palm Beach County, and soliciting to bring our businesses to our area. At this present, the thing that on our agenda now, the major thing that we're looking at is two hotels that we're looking at. And we have solicited some lobbyists to lobby for us to try to get these hotels, get a nice hotel in our community. We're in the process of looking, trying to find properties. I don't know if you're aware or not, but you should be aware that we have tried to poll each one of our cities to see if they have any land or anything such that we could use in order to put a nice hotel that would benefit the Glaze area. And this is for the Glaze area, not for Belglade, not for Pahokee, not for South Bay. And we add Cadell Point. We have to add Cadell Point because this is a part of our region. And even though a lot of people don't recognize them, but we have to recognize them because they all do have citizens there, and they're taxpayer citizens. They should be recognized in our community. But the thing that we're doing now, and we're a nonprofit organization, and basically we survive on donations. And when we first started out, the cities was donating, like each city donated $5,000 a piece. They did this every year for a period of time, and it kind of dropped off. And you know, but this is money that we use. We don't spend money or send donations or anything. We just use the money to try to lobby for agencies to go into different countries. Countries, different cities, different conventions and things, and try to lobby for the Glaze area and sell our area as to what we have to offer as a place that you would want to bring a nice business of such. I look at Flint Rock and a couple of the racetrack stations that we have. We work closely with some of the things and help get some of those places here. A major thing with Flint Rock is one of our major tasks that we worked on to get here. And so I'm going to sit back and I just want to give a little introduction of who we are, and I'll let Mrs. Roberts kind of fill you in on a little more detail as to what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Rhodes. As you all well know, he represents the Tri-Cities Education Commission, sits on many boards, advocating for our communities, and he is just a super value to the LORE board. He's been with us since its inception, and he does a super job for us. You all know Ron Doncaster also, who is in charge of Lakeside Medical, and what he does with Tampa General. So he's here on a different matter tonight, but he also is a member of the LORE board. Also, your very own Miss Brenda Bryant has spent countless hours with LORE, attending the meetings when she was representing Representative Berman, and did I have her name right? Was Berman? Yes, thank you. And has contributed by giving of her time, talent, and input into things that LORE is doing to try to benefit the communities. This specifically is a request really for information so you all can understand why the request is coming before you. And it is for us to be able to pay for. We've already gotten a proposal from JLL, which is a national company who is best in class for preparing feasibility studies and marketability studies. When we first started out, LORE is the person that's doing this. So it's not, as Coach indicated, not for one city or a separate entity, but it is for all municipalities. What we are attempting to do is have in a report feasibility and marketability to show what our communities can use, how many beds we can fill in a hotel. Hotels require this information before they will come and do things. By way of backward, and if I run over, y'all tell me to stop talking. I could talk about this forever. But Coach Rhodes and LORE hosted a tour in Cobblestone's Hotel, who is out in the middle of the country, came specifically and is looking to increase their position in Florida, in South Florida. They started on a program in Green Acres. It's not going to work for them there, but they actually came and toured. Ava Parker with Palm Beach State College is a part of this project as well. She offered 5 acres free to not just their hotel, anybody that's coming. What we've done thus far is gathered properties that are available in each community, but that's not an exhaustive list. Once we're able to hire the company to do the feasibility study, they will reach out to each community so that each community can tell them what properties they have that would potentially be a good site. This isn't that we're picking a site. It's just so that a potential hotel chain would be able to look at it and say, yes, These are the properties that are available. For instance, some in South Bay have it on the corridor, right on 27, and that's interesting to them. But we toured them in Pahokee, in Belglade, in South Bay. We didn't go all the way to Canal Point, but the Mayor Sarah Baxter, reached out to me specifically and said, well, are you all including Canal Point? And we said, well, yes, we would like to, but we don't have enough money to finish the project. And she is willing to bring from the county 50% of the entire project. It's a $35,000 ask for the report that we will have both a feasibility study and a marketability study to say that restaurants can be supported out here. It doesn't say which restaurant, right? But we will be able to go to a restaurant and say, look, here's the feasibility study. It says that with enough residents from Belglade, Pahokee, South Bay, and Canal Point, we can fill this many hotel rooms per night, and so on and so forth. So we have compared two different companies that do this type of work. We also compared it to the county that offered to do it for free. The county doesn't even have an RFP in place. They would have to create it. You all know how much red tape that takes. We love the county, but we don't want to wait that long. We have people, as I say, Cobblestone is calling us back saying, where's the feasibility study? We want to move. And you may not like Cobblestone. We don't have to use Cobblestone. We need the same information for any brand that comes out here. Also looking at a Fairfield in South Bay and some other things. So we're making progress. And so in comparison, the other company also came back with a $35,000 fee, but it was not as comprehensive. One of the people that is a member of the Business Development Board, sits on that board with me, actually is in charge of the hotel concessions, the airport concessions. And so she's kind of sort of from the Glades. She knows and understands business, and she's interested in getting behind one of these franchises, potentially investing and helping us structure this. So I feel like we've got a lot of different people who have expertise in this area, not just us. As Coach said, we're volunteers, which is true. But the city of Belglade has committed, the check is in the path, we should have it this week, of $10,000 to do this project. We would love for the city of Pahokee to give us $5,000. They used to do $5,000 every year. Obviously, that's not as much, but our city doesn't have as many residents, and so we thought that was fair. The city of South Bay has already written us a check for $3,000 because we didn't have to go through the commission process and take so long to get approval. We can go back for more if we need to. That left a difference of $17,000 if city of Pahokee contributes $5,000. And Mayor Baxter has indicated and told her staff, Jonathan Brown, most of you know, is working on a pot of money that would be there to contribute that because the county's included through the unincorporated area. Okay, so I'm available for questions. We are super excited about this project. We've been working on it for probably 3 months. This is where we are. It will take 5 weeks to complete. They said 5 to 8. I'm pushing for 5 once we retain them. So any questions, I'm happy to answer, or I can speak with each of you individually and provide you documentation, anything else that you need. And I want to clarify one other thing. Coach said we were lobbying. We're not certified lobbyists, so he just means that in a loving term, as that we're out begging, okay? Okay, that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, I have a few
Is there
questions.
anything you'd like to add from your perspective? Would this help us?
It would help us greatly, I think, and part of where Lakeside wants to be and is contributing into this effort is we want to help support the community any way we can.
And in order for us to bring the doctor to the people we need out to the community, we need these types of places for people to come and stay, places for them to eat. And we want to drive as much business Juan's working on from east to west as is going from west to east. That's what we're trying to do.
It's also symbolic. As people see that kind of development, it will attract. Yeah.
Have a few questions. As a individual, the mayor, I would definitely solicit this commission to support this project as far as the funding, the $5,000 funding. A few years ago, we looked at a project to build a hotel, and we do have an ideal spot. It's the old City Hall location as you go up to the lakefront. Thirdly, the Business Development Board with Kelly Small Ridge, the CEO, was kind of spearheading it, and I'm asking, I don't know, have you asked or noticed that project was kind of on the table at one point? But I'm almost sure that a feasibility study was done, and that may be able to be used, at least as a foundation. Even Belglade, there were 3 major projects being proposed: a hotel here in Pahokee, a hotel there in Belglade, and a amusement park on 27 in South Bay. There was a lot of entities at the table. The county was there, former Commissioner McKinley, the Business Development Board, and others was there. I don't know what happened. It was through a major development out of Miami.
Nothing, that's why we're back here now. Kelly
Okay.
Smallridge is working with us on this particular project.
So my question was a feasibility study done at that time?
Not to my knowledge. The county, forgive me, I didn't let you finish your question. To my knowledge, the county is working with us on this as well. We've had many conversations there at every table. So is Discover the Palm Beaches, and so is the Tourism Council. And again, they wanted us to use the county for free. And we basically have let them know, and the mayor agrees, we just don't want to take the time in the red tape. It'll take them 3 months to get a RFP ready for us. Then we've got to go out to RFP. And so maybe a year from now, we'll have something. We already have people on the hook that want to come here, and they're looking for our feasibility study. Anything that, you know, if they had a feasibility study, they would have given it to us instead of having us go out and do what we're doing now. And again, this isn't, the county is approving and on board, but not spearheading this. No city is spearheading this. Laura is spearheading this. And that we have Ava Parker and Palm Beach State College involved, offering 5 acres of free land. Is pretty amazing. So we've got the educational component. She wants a hospitality hotel right there so that they can start streamlining classes and courses in hospitality. That's huge. Also, Mr. Mayor, we've already given your property over here to them to look at that. So we're not picking sites. We're letting them know that there is availability. They will reach out and work directly with your people, whoever you all choose that is, to hone in on things like, what is the population? What is it you see that you need and want? Those types of things. And for Canal Point, they're going to have to be using Mr. Brown and those folks to give them numbers. Now, the Discover the Palm Beaches and the Tourism Council already has all this information together, and they're working on with us on this as well, so that it's not going to take a great deal of time to compile the information that we need. I'm not sure that answered your question. Do you have any others?
Yeah. Do the commission as a whole have any questions for our presenters?
I just want to say that I'm glad that you have clarified that this is something that Laura is sponsoring. I know before I became a member of the commission here, and since I've been here, I've been speaking with different individuals with regards to trying to get some momentum going with regards to bringing a hotel here. We haven't been able to make much progress, but hopefully, since it's for the Tri-City area, and I don't want to leave out Canal Point, but we always say Tri-City, and Canal Point is unincorporated, so that's why we don't really include them. But they are certainly a part of this, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this take off. I know there's not a feasibility study because we've been checking everywhere looking for it. There's not even a file, an official file on it anywhere. And I know I've been, asking and checking and just trying to make sure that we get something going. So thank you all for coming and clarifying what's going on with regards to the hotel. I'm on board with it. Anything that I can do to be of help to you, I'm available. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor Bab, that situation you would talk about, I remember when they did the studies and they was doing some things to try to bring forth that, but it kind of phased out, you know, and we haven't heard too much about it. But if there's something that we could that could use, we will welcome that. This is why we went to each city and asked you guys to send us any available land that you might have that they could donate to this cause. So, you know, even if they had to purchase it, we just want to know if something was available. This is why we went to each city. Now, that you guys should have got something on that. I don't know if you get it or not, but each city was supposed to give us a list of land that was available. Thank you.
Question, does the feasibility study has an expiration date asked for as a time limit when it has to be, that it can be utilized?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that question. We're going to utilize it real fast.
Yes,
So,
ma'am,
I mean, we got people waiting on to get it in their hands. And there's some legalities about who can use it and how they can use it. For instance, so JLL is going to prepare this project, and I know Cobblestone can't wait to get their hands on it. But Cobblestone, in my opinion, should be doing their own feasibility study or help us pay for it. But I don't want to be beholden to any one individual. I don't want you to be beholden to any one individual or any one entity. So we do have to make sure how we're going to be able to utilize that. We're still working on some of those things. For instance, because from JLL's perspective, they want every hotel that thinks they want to come to use them to do their feasibility study, and they will have already done a beautiful package for the whole area. So we're working out some of the details on that, and Kelly Smallridge's team is helping us with that. I'd like to add this too. This is not their bailiwick. They do recruitment and retention only. They have never helped and made telephone calls on any hotel project. They asked us, what can we do for Lore and the Glades, because Lore needed to get some things going, I think you said, you know. And so we said, we need a hotel. Everything else really doesn't matter. Yes, of course we want new business, but we can't have the bass tournaments that we want. We can't do the things that we need to boost tourism out here until we got to pay for people to spend the night, go to the bathroom, and go to the restaurant. So that's what we've asked for them to help with, and boy, have they stepped up. The County Tourism Council, Discover the Palm Beaches, the Business Development Board stepping out of their bailiwick of what they do to try to help make this come together. I have never in all of my time in working with the three cities and Lore had this type of a project come together to unify and bring everything together with as much momentum as we have. Everybody's excited about it. So we just got to make it happen now.
Yes, ma'am. And also, if make sure I'm understanding this clear, that feasibility study can be utilized for any project, not just the hotel, correct?
It's going to include restaurants.
Okay.
How many restaurants can we serve and make sure that they can stay in business?
Yes, ma'am.
And there's something else, I can't remember what else it is. But yes, it's supposed to be a marketability study and a feasibility study, all encompassing, so we don't have to keep going back to the table.
I just want to say thank you all so much for coming and explaining it to us. I support it, and I just look forward to you all bringing some of that, you know, bringing them to Pahokee so that we can start to grow just like Belglade is growing. So I will support the project and whatever it is that we can support and do, and look forward to the City of Pahokee working with the Lure Board as well.
Okay, the major thing that we looking at now, make sure we have somebody from Pahokee at our table. You know, so we can get the information back to you guys and can have input on whatever we do directly at that particular point rather than wait and you have to come later, okay? If there's somebody in the meeting, then we make decisions and everything like that, then you'll have somebody on the board that can have some input from you guys. It'll speak for you guys and say what you need.
You'll let our manager know when the meetings are?
Pardon?
The meetings.
Yes.
Every
Yes.
Tuesday, every
Third,
Tuesday of the month, yes.
3 o'clock.
Which, every Tuesday or?
Workforce Alliance.
Every second or third. Sometimes we move them around a little bit. Don't work Brenda so hard she can't come to the meetings. She knows where it is. Yeah, oh yes, and we did just break for the summer. But with this team and the people that are working on this every day to make this happen. We hope that when we come back and our next meeting will be in August, that we may have the results of this feasibility study with your help.
So you need for us to vote over the money tonight? Tonight. Tonight. I think that's what she said.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you all very much. We appreciate it. And we're happy to come anytime Ms. Brenda asks us.
The next presentation will be Mr. Ron Doncaster, Hospital Administrator for Lakeside Medical Center.
I brought, Ms. Brenda, I brought agendas to people. I can hand them out after. Okay. So, good evening, Mr. Mayor and
Good evening.
committee and everybody here. And Ms. Brenda, thank you for the invitation. So I'm Ron Doncaster. I'm the administrator of Lakeside Medical Center. I'm also the Senior Vice President of Operations for the East Coast for Tampa General Hospital. But my primary mission and effort is in and around Lakeside Medical.
And you're a Pahokee Rotarian.
And I'm a proud Pahokee Rotarian. And Ms. Brenda asked that I come to the committee tonight and give some updates on where we're at. So where I thought I would start is to reintroduce what the relationship between the healthcare district of Palm Beach County and Tampa General Hospital is. And what it is not, and I think it's a bit of a misconception out there that I should address, is it's not an acquisition, it's not a merger, it's an agreement, it's a management service agreement for 5 years that has some very basic tenets to it, but was also built in a way that will allow us to grow. So it was built kind of tight and a little bit ambiguous, which I think is perfect, between two organizations who have not done this before. So Tampa General acquires and merges. This is their first management agreement. And the healthcare district has never, I guess you could say in a way, given up control of the hospital and the everyday management of it. So it's a pretty interesting effort. The major tenets of the agreement are to do some very specific things. First is to address the infrastructure. So the infrastructure at most hospitals is case management, care coordination. So how we take care of patients. So the way we look at the hospital business, I guess, is not, you come to these four walls and we take care of you if you're sick and then you leave. It's really to care coordination to make sure we're taking care of you when you leave as well. That's important. The thing that's connected to that people may not know is rev cycle. So the other revenue cycle. So the other thing we want to make sure of is that we get every cent, every dollar that's due us via insurance, or Medicaid, or Medicare, because it's important for two reasons. Number one, we want to make sure we create a margin so that we can invest it back into the hospital. That's what it's for. And also to be mindful of the taxpayers of Palm Beach County who support Lakeside. So it's important that we really get in there and take care of those two things. The other thing is coming up with a strategic plan. The strategic plan was approved by the healthcare district, and it includes a few different things, the first of which, and I'll start to go into those with the summary of our accomplishments thus far, is to really attack the out-migration of people who come into our emergency room. So through a lot of data analytics, we realized that the big service lines that folks typically come to our emergency room and get transferred out are neurology, cardiology, urology, and GI. Those are the big ones. And now we're starting to interweave nephrology, because nephrology is really connected to everything. So we've done a couple of different things along those fronts, which actually leads to one of our first accomplishments, but we're taking it to a different level over the course of the next 3 to 6 months, and that's telemedicine. So right now in our ED, we do have teleneurology coverage, which is important and pretty critical. So it's allowed us to keep some of our patients that we otherwise would send out but not nearly enough. We got a little more work to do. We started that right when I came, and so we're looking at the company now that's there, Eagle Medicine. We've actually just gotten involved with, in a big way, with Tampa General, who has now got a robust telemedicine program. So we have TGH Telemedicine. They have a different outsourced doc company, guys who will be on telemedicine. And we have a new technology partner called VC. VC has allowed Tampa General to grow their telemedicine exponentially. When I first started, I was told by Tampa, my company, it'll be a year before we can handle it. But now they can handle it right now. It's actually a fascinating company. They're the telemedicine company of NASA. They're up in the space shuttle. They're all over the United States, really fascinating. So what we're looking to have, I would say by September, October, is a new neurology group, a new cardiology service, and nephrology. So that is big. In a year's time, what I will say is Tampa is growing, because Tampa is growing around the state. Tampa is developing now their own telemedicine company, if you will. So in 8 months to a year's time, Tampa General, University of South Florida doctors will be the ones on the other end of that screen. So that's coming. So kind of a two-step process that'll get us to address our emergency department out-migration pretty quick. So that is important. A really important and big one is we just had approved by the Healthcare District Board an oncology infusion therapy center, which is a big deal. So it's an arrangement between the Healthcare District. It's gonna be under the Lakeside Hospital license. We're gonna build it in Waxahachie Groves, which is right off Southern, where Culver's is. That seems to be the landmark that folks know, and that's exciting. So cancer is the #1 killer in the Glades, #1 in 2 of the cities, and in the state of Florida. So we'll be addressing that very quick in 9 months, 6 to 9 months, that will be up and running. And what I think is gonna happen is that when the oncologists come on board, the site might not be ready yet, constructed yet, so we'll have them at Lakeside, and we might be able to offer infusion at Lakeside. Wow. So that will be pretty incredible. So that's a done deal. Letter of intent has been signed with the building. The lease should be signed at any moment. We have construction design locked and loaded. The partnership is gonna be with Tampa General Cancer Centers of South Florida. So a 100% investment by the district. We're gonna hire, if you will, Tampa General to run the front end and to run the physician group. So that'll be here 6 to 9 months. That's a big one. Telemedicine. We implemented Focus grant, so out of the ED, we're now offering folks free AIDS testing and other STD testing. That was a statewide project that was really complicated to get up and running, but we got it up and running. We're working with Florida Atlantic University. While telemedicine is important and it's critical in rural hospitals all across the country, we're working with Florida Atlantic as well to put clinics on site. So an interesting kind of fun fact, but not so fun fact, at Lakeside, there's no place for doctors to see patients. When the hospital was built, some of you may know where the clinic is on the left side of the hospital. That's a federally qualified health center, which is separate. So we're gonna build clinic space on the 3rd floor. We're gonna take some patient rooms and make clinics. FAU, who I just had a meeting with today, has GI urology. Today we met with an orthopedic surgeon, who's very interested in working with FAU, working with rural communities. So I am very confident we'll have clinics on site in addition to telemedicine. And I wanted to let you know that. And then lastly, I'm gonna say 2 more things. The healthcare district has 3 mobile health clinics. So we lobbied over the course of a bunch of different months to get one dedicated to the hospital. So within the month of June, it'll be parked at Lakeside. We have an unbelievable community liaison, Joanne Reynolds, who's pretty tied into the community and has a great thing going with, we're already doing education at the libraries. We do different kinds of clinics at different places. You can call Joanne or myself, and we're happy to run testing sites, education, and ultimately we could do actual mobile clinics, have docs on the clinic going to meet the patients where they're at. We had the luxury of, when I first got here and we were developing the strategic plan, we had almost a gift, I'll call it a gift, of having our community health needs assessment done at the same exact time. So the community health needs assessment is something every hospital in the country has to do. It's interestingly required by the Internal Revenue Service. And it's a fascinating project and process. We had meetings at the hospital, we went out to see the community, and we came up with a community health plan. And that community health plan that we sign on to involves going out to the community, meeting the patients where they are, and we'll be doing that as well. So once the mobile unit is there in June, we'll be kicking that off in a very formal way. So, and then lastly, what I wanted to say is, it's interesting you two are here. So I see people here in the audience. We're very committed to engaging or re-engaging with the community. So we made, Joanne, who I mentioned, that was a priority to get a dedicated community liaison, and she's got a two-part role, doing both community liaisoning and patient experience, so completely focused on our patients. But as Danya said, I'm in the Pahokee Rotary Club, and we'll go anywhere and everywhere to talk about Lakeside, where we're at, what we're doing, and hopefully engaging everybody as we go. So it's been a great year. It's actually been a year for me here. Met a lot of great people, and we're making a lot of great strides, a lot of promise. So thank you for having me.
I have a question.
Oh, yeah, all right. Yeah, well, so Coach Rhodes wanted me to mention that we will hire local. So an interesting thing, funny, thanks for saying that. Of course, that's a commitment. I talked to West Tech, we're talking to FAU, South University, we're talking to everybody to think about things like workforce development, because we plan on getting busy. And the interesting thing about the Infusion Therapy Center is we'll get that job list first. So we'll be sending that around as well, and that is a commitment anyway. Thank you. Sorry.
So my question is, you said that you're converting space on the third floor into space that doctors can use to see their patients.
Mm-hmm.
How many beds will that require you to reduce from your capacity?
So we have 70 beds in the hospital now, so that's a great question. 70 beds in the hospital now. When the hospital moved from the old Glades Hospital General to here, even Darcy Davis herself doesn't necessarily know why it was built with 70 beds. It was actually built too big. So we're taking 8 patient rooms, and it's on the left side of the third floor. And we don't see that it'll impact anything. And if it does, it would probably be a few years from now, and that gets us to a really good problem to have. Because there's different land, I think we have 2 lots on that land. So one of the things that I really talked about when I first got here was building a temporary medical office building in the back parking lot where we could put the doctors. But it's a little expensive, and right now, this is the best way to go. But great question.
So potentially, if going forward, you get the business, which would require you to increase your capacity, you do have space that you can expand your facility.
Yeah, yes. So right now, when I first got here, the average daily census was between 5 and 10 a day. So we've got that up between 15 and 18 through some various things. And I think what the math shows us is we can get it to 30 or 40. And so there's room strategically. I wish I had the answer as to why it was built with 70 beds at first. But I don't, and they don't either. Yeah, it's interesting. But the good news is, it's a big, beautiful hospital. And if we get to that point, which I hope we do, I hope, my desire, I can't wait for the day when I get my first parking complaint. I can't wait for that day. And I think if we get to the point where we have to move, those 8 offices to a trailer in the back, easy.
I have one question. I want to say thank you for coming out tonight. I listened to all of the services that you say you're going to provide, and thank you, and we need them for our community. But I didn't hear you say anything about our OB. Nothing came up about that, and I know that, our residents have to leave and go to West Palm Beach for services. So what have been your talks in regards to reopening up the OB ward at the hospital?
So I recognize and understand how sensitive of a topic that is in this community. And I will say a couple of different things. An OB unit is not a phase 1, I don't want to say priority, but it's not first. The first thing we have to do is stop the outmigration for all of those other services. But what I will say, and what I talked to the CEO about a lot, is the healthcare, the federally qualified health center has comprehensive health care, OBGYN, primary care, and we don't necessarily market the 4 walls of the hospital that way. So we do have that, and we do have the ability and the opportunity to take care of women up to that point. I get the sensitivity of it, but it's not priority. It's not in the first phase. And thank you for the question. I know it's not an easy answer. And I will say there has not been one meeting where that question didn't come up. So
Yeah.
It's on our minds.
I hope it continue to stay there too,
Yeah, it will,
because
sure. Yeah.
we lose our identity when we don't have a local maternity ward here in the local community. We're well known for our NFL players. Almost 70 to 80, maybe 90 players came from this area. We won't have that no more as far as identity, because they're gonna list where you was born at, whether it's Clewiston or Palm Beach or whatever hospital you actually was born. So that would certainly help us. And I know it's a hot topic from the local perspective, and we hope at some point that will be able to come. I know it's not in phase 1, but I hope it's somewhere still in the back of your projection to try to get that for us at some point.
It's not even, I wouldn't even call it the back. It is top of mind. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you
so
for the
much.
update and presentation. We appreciate your service. Next one. We're gonna move to our consent agenda. We have one item on our consent agenda, which is the May 12th, 2026 City Commission meeting minutes. I'll entertain a motion for the adoption of the consent agenda, if that's the desire.
Remember, I move that we accept the minutes as printed.
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Williams and properly second by Commissioner McPherson for the adoption of the consent agenda item, which consists of the May 12, 2026 City Commission meeting minutes. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Calvin Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner McPherson?
Yes.
Commissioner Scott?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McDonald?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Motion passed by unanimous vote. Next, we have old business, discussion of existing activities of previously held events, if any. City Manager, do you have any?
There's no old business.
Thank you. Next, we have our public hearings and our ordinances. We have one ordinance 2026-01, City Attorney.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, amending certain sections of the City of Pahokee's Code of Ordinances pertaining to dangerous buildings, deleting outdated references pertaining to the city's former Code Enforcement Board, specifically amending Article 3, Chapter 6, Section 6-67, entitled Duties of Building Inspector and Code Enforcement Officer, amending Section 6-68, entitled Duties of the Special Magistrate, deleting Section 6-69, entitled Liability for Damage Resulting from Enforcement of Article Suits, amending Section 6-72, entitled Emergency Repair, Vacation, or Demolition, providing for adoption of representations, providing for conflict and repealer, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, City Attorney. City Manager, could you give us a brief explanation?
Yes. So whereas the city desires to expand and clarify the authority of the special magistrate to hear, adjudicate, enforce, and compel compliance with matters involving dangerous, unsafe, dilapidated, and substandard buildings and structures, the staff had, along with the attorney, has reviewed the ordinance and to ensure that all of our buildings are in code and we can move swiftly if we had a situation where we needed to ensure that our residents are safe and that the building has issues, we can go to the magistrate and our code is much clearer, so we can go through that process much faster as well.
Thank you, City Manager. City Commission, having heard Resolution 2026-01, properly read into the minutes by our City Attorney, properly explained by our City Manager. Ms. Clark, you had something to say?
Just a public hearing once you take the vote.
Properly explained by City Manager. What is your preference? I'll take a motion in a second, then we'll move to our public hearing prior to the actual vote.
I move that we accept ordinance 2026-01.
Second.
It has been moved and second. At this time, I'll open up this public hearing on this ordinance. Do anyone wish to speak from the audience concerning this ordinance? Hearing none, I close the public hearing. City Commission, we have a motion and a second. I call for question at this time. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Calvin Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner McPherson?
Yes.
Commissioner Scott?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McDonald?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Motion passed by unanimous vote. Next, we have resolutions. We have Resolution 2026-22, City Attorney.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, approving and authorizing the execution of maintenance work order ASM 56 for fiscal year 2026-2027 with the Florida Department of Transportation, FDOT, for the maintenance of state highway lighting facilities within the City of Pahokee, providing for authorization, providing for adoption of representations, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, City Attorney. City Manager, could you give us a brief explanation?
Yes, this is renewing our current partnership. The City of Pahokee has maintained a cooperative partnership with the Florida Department of Transportation, and so now we are renewing that partnership with them as well. FDOT has approved funding in the amount of $52,308.88 to reimburse the city for costs associated with repairing lighting and ensuring that our city is properly lighted for the 2026-2027 year. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you, City Manager. City Commission, having heard Resolution 2026-22, properly read into the minutes by our City Manager, City Attorney, properly explained by City Manager, what is your preference?
I move that we accept Resolution 2026-22.
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner McPherson and properly seconded by Vice Mayor Mike Donald. Call for questions. Hearing none. Are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McPherson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McDonald,
Yes.
Commissioner Calvin Williams,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Mayor Bab.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Motion passed by unanimous vote. Next, we have Resolution 2026-23. City Attorney.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, approving and adopting the updated Continuity of Operations Plan, COOP, for the City of Pahokee as set forth hereto in Exhibit A, providing for adoption of representations, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, City Attorney. City Manager, could you give us a brief explanation?
Yes. The City of Pahokee has updated its Continuity of Operations Plan, referred to as COOP, to strengthen emergency preparedness, ensure continuity of essential city services during hurricane and other disaster, improve coordinates among departments, and maintain compliance with applicable emergency management standards and best practices. The staff recommends approval.
Thank you, City Manager. City Commission, having heard Resolution 2026-23, properly read into the minutes by our City Attorney, properly explained by City Manager, what is your preference?
I move that we accept Resolution 2026-23.
If there's a second,
I'll second.
it has been moved by Commissioner Mike Pearson and properly seconded by Commissioner Calvin Williams. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McPherson,
Yes.
Commissioner Calvin Williams,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McDonald,
Yes.
Mayor Bab.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Motion passed by unanimous vote. Next, we entertain our last and final resolution, Resolution 2026-24. City Attorney.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, authorizing the execution of the statewide mutual aid agreement, SMAA, with the State of Florida Division of Emergency Management, providing for adoption of representation, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, City Attorney. City Manager, could you give us a brief explanation?
The city clerk is going to present that. Okay.
So what this resolution does, it allows us to renew the statewide mutual aid agreement with the state. We had one approved back in 2018, and it's just not now time to renew that. So that's what you guys have before you in preparation for the hurricane season.
Okay. City Commission, having heard our city attorney properly read the resolution into record, properly explained by city clerk, what is your preference?
I move that we accept is resolution 2026-23. Is that the one we're on?
24.
24, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Kywans Williams and properly second by Commissioner Mike Fearson for the adoption of resolution 2026-24. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Calvin Williams,
Yes.
Commissioner McPherson,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McDonald,
Yes.
Mayor Bap.
Yes. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you. Vote passed by unanimous vote. Next, we'll have new business presentation by the city manager of activities of upcoming events, if any. We have 3 listed here. And I'll have the city manager either introduce the presenters or provide the report.
The presenters are here to provide the report. We'll have a presentation or update, if any, from Palm Beach County Sheriff Office. Are there any? No. Thank you so much. The next will be from the Palm Beach County Fire Rescue.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. How's everyone today?
Ray.
Good. Happy faces today. Good. So I do have a small report, but I have more of some things that I wanted to tell. I think we talked with the city manager, the city clerk, and Ms. TJ, but I want to give you guys an update. So this is just an average of what fire rescue kind of runs during the months, and I'm not going to bore you guys with numbers and stuff like that. But it's always steady. For us, that's where we look at the numbers and the calls that we run. So in the month of March, we ran approximately, and I'm gonna give you the bulk, 76 medical calls during the month. We also ran 2 fires and 2 vehicle accidents. And then if you look at the month of April, the medical calls were 74. So stay 72, 74. So it's not an uptick. And that's some of the things that we kind of guide ourselves, you know. If something's different, if there's more people coming in on summer, on, you know, winter and stuff like that. So the vehicles were 3 on this month, and we also have the same 2 fires. There was all the other calls like assistant investigations, and that could be anything from a failure to a smoke detector, or someone just want us to check out if, you know, their home, if it smells like smoke, or they're unsure, or they just call 911 for whatever reason. So we do go and investigate. We also have some fire alarms, which after the smoke detectors that we did, thank God, you know, we haven't had anything but good positive things. And what I'm talking about is we did something that's called the Blitz for smoke detectors, and we brought our groups because we had a grant, and we were able to install a lot of smoke detectors on people's homes that they didn't have it. And that's part of our prevention team, and I got to give it to them. They work really hard. Our community risk reduction, they don't get the credit that they deserve because they're always behind the lines, right? The firefighters are always in front of the lines, but because of the work they do, we have less and less activity when it comes to fires, accidents, and stuff. We also have a mobile health and a mobile integrated health system, which is the kind of people that actually follow up, and that gets set off like, let's say, an elderly, they're falling a lot. Our crew members will recognize that they need some extra help, and we will actually put a note on our report. Our mobile integrated system will get it, and they will come out and try to help them. But, you know, prevention, falling, teaching them what kind of socks they don't need to wear, helping them with all kinds of things, phone calls, getting them in contact with, you know, insurances, or health support, any type of health, psychological. So it's a really good thing they would do. But again, they don't get enough credit. So I'm just letting you guys know there's out there for us. I feel like I'm eating the microphone. Sorry. So the other things that I wanted to talk to, and I talked to your staff, is, sorry, there was a lot of things that we can bring as Palm Beach County Fire Rescue to the community and to your constituents. Some of those are the drowning prevention. We have something that is called, the drowning prevention. We have had classes where it's the sinking vehicle, and it's very important because the bodies of water are here. They're everywhere. So we do partner up with the Drowning Coalition of Palm Beach County, and they come out and they do classes. So another thing that we also do is fire extinguishers. A lot of people have them, but they don't know how to use them. How many people out here have used a fire extinguisher? Okay. How many people have an extinguisher and don't know how to use it? Right? So it is important. And it's nothing to be shameful, because when you purchase a fire extinguisher, it gives you a sense of security. But it's a false sense of security, because you can cut yourself in a room thinking just because you have the fire extinguisher that you're going to do something good, and it can get out of hand, and by the time you find the exit, you find yourself in trouble. So those type of extinguishers for the city, the training, the vehicles, it's important because it gives you hands-on experience, and it'll teach you and you feel confident. So if the time is needed, hopefully it's never needed, you will have it. So those are part of Palm Beach County Fire Rescue things, the initiatives that we can show you. And I don't want to lose you, but there's so much more. But fire extinguishers, drowning prevention, CPR, hands-on, all of those good things. That if we can help the public get to know it before, it can save lives. It can actually help us help the community. So please reach out. I just sent an email to Ms. TJ, and I think the Ms. Clerk and City Manager too, about what we spoke the last meeting about the food trucks and stuff like that, and little things, that can help, make the event safer, and we're working on it really hard. So that's all pretty much I have for you guys. I mean, unless you guys want to come and visit us in a fire station and ride with the fire truck, I mean, we can turn the woo-woo lights, and you will feel the experience. So any questions are welcome. Oh, thank God, no questions.
Thank you for the presentation. Okay, next we have the discussion and direction for consideration of taking the summer break from the regular scheduled commission meeting on July 28th, 2026 and August 11th, 2026. Commissioner Collins-Williams brought this to our attention to have us look at this, add it to the agenda, and consider taking those 2 days off as a summer vacation. Last year, the commission did it. I mean, it's a new year this year, so it still will be up to the majority of the commission if they desire to have that done. I'll give Commissioner Collins-Williams an opportunity to kind of speak on why she thought it was important to bring it before us, and we would have a motion in a second with question to consider voting this up or down if we decide that's the direction we would like to go. Commissioner Williams.
Well, you've pretty much summed it up. We took a summer recess, is what we called it last year, and so that's what I was asking, that the commission take a summer recess for those 2 meetings. Just take a summer recess for those 2 meetings for this year, as we did last year. And we would still be within the charter, because the charter says that we just need to have at least 1 meeting a month. And so we would not be going against the charter.
I'll just open the floor for any input or any comments anyone would like to make. And I'm gonna start with Commissioner Scott, just to get his opinion and see if that's something he would like to consider doing.
No, I wouldn't consider it, because it didn't happen like that last time. I think it just happened when something came up and we took it off. But, you know, I think we need to just leave it on there, and, you know, things come up, then you can make that change, but just taking them off, just to be taking them off, that don't really make sense to me.
Commissioner McDonough have any?
May I just respond to Commissioner?
Let everybody
Oh.
get at least a chance to.
Oh, no, I was
get
just
their
gonna tell him it was a resolution. We didn't just take it off because we had to get it approved.
Right.
So I just
know.
want to know
I'm
that
just
it was a
saying, but
resolution
something
that
came
was
up
brought.
during that time that we took it off. We didn't just approve it up front for 2 weeks off. I mean,
Yep.
two meetings.
Yes, he brought it ahead of time and we did get it approved. He brought it, Mr. Jackson brought it and asked that we had that time off. He did,
Mhm.
just like we're doing now.
Commissioner McDonough, any comments?
No comment.
Commissioner McPherson, anything you'd like to say?
I would go for one of those days, but not both. Maybe the July 28th day.
Okay. And I also would recommend just taking one out of two, just for a summer refresher or whatever you want to call it, vacation or whatever. So I'm gonna carry this back to you just for your consideration too, Ms. Williams. Out of the 2 days, which one you would prefer have a choosing for?
I mean, July 28th is fine if that's what the commissioner says. They'll take one of the days. July 28th is fine.
We haven't voted on it yet, but it seemed like there is a consensus to at least have one of those 2 days taken as a commission summer vacation, and the date is being discussed is July 28th.
Mr. Mayor, we'll put it on the next agenda. I think you guys said at the last meeting that you
Okay.
wanted it just as a discussion, so
Right.
we'll have it as a resolution.
Okay.
Resolution.
So this item was up for discussion, and we kind of consensusized that we will look at the 28th of July, and it will be brought back at our next meeting for official vote up or down. Okay. Next, we have the report of the mayor, and I'll be very, very brief. It is with heavy heart that we share the passing of Valerie Mays, a cherished member of the city of Pahokee through Primestar Digital. Valerie presence and professionalism and dedication have left a lasting impression, and she will deeply be missed. And I would ask that you would keep the family, her loved ones, and Primestar Digital in your thoughts and prayers. And at this time, and you can stand up just right at where you are if you want to just say a few words on her behalf. This is her supervisor. This way Valerie was sitting in the back. She was our IT person. We started live streaming in 2016, 10 years ago, and I don't think she missed very few meetings, twice a month here. I'm always conscious of lookout and ask, are we ready, IT, are you ready? And she always give me the thumbs up that our meeting should be able to proceed. So we'll let the supervisor just give a few words on it.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission, community. Thank you for the actual kind words for Valerie. I want to just thank everyone for their thoughts, their prayers, their phone calls. It was a surprise when I saw the email from the city clerk showing that the city wanted to recognize her, so that really touched me. And I immediately copied the email and I sent it to her family so they can see, because as you all know, Valerie and I were the only ones that were getting the city emails. So it was, such a delight to see that you all knew what happened and then wanted to express yourselves. And then today coming in, working with the city clerk, and then Commissioner Williams coming in and wanting to just, express kind words, and then the city attorney, Ms. Weeks, coming in wanting to just express kind words. It really means a lot, not only to me, but I can't even imagine how heavy this is for the immediate family, because we always think that we're going to be here forever. And to your point, she was always the quiet person who was just, she made things work. And people would always say, when you see Darian, you see her, because we've traveled around the country together. We've done a lot of big projects together, and she was the most loyal person ever. And about 2 months ago, we had to just basically bring Derek in to take over some of her work for her. And it's been a transition, and everyone knows my name, Darian Doherty. And Mayor, you're right, we came to the city about 8 years ago, and it started as an initial conversation, and no one knew that we would be around this long providing services for as many municipalities, and that's always been a privilege. And in building the company, Valerie was very instrumental in the architectural structure of the company, and we're so privileged to provide similar services to a lot of municipalities, here in South Florida. And just the outpouring of support that I've seen in the past 48 hours is just really uplifting. And it makes me, think to myself that when it's my time, if I just receive a third of the positive acknowledgments, I think I will be blessed, because I've received so many inquiries about her day and night. And, today is a day that I really wish my name wasn't Darian Doherty. I wish it was John Coffey. Because in the Green Mile, he was able to resolve things. And at this point, that's what the show is.
Thank you. And the city will be providing a proclamation and a flowers arrangement for her. That will conclude my report. Next, we'll have the report of the city manager.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. We will start the report with the Tri-City events that are occurring. And so the first we have is the Senior Citizens Prom, and I'm going to ask Ms. Annie Eiffel to present the information on that. You have in your packet the budget, as well as the letter from the organization also.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission, and Pahokee residents. My name is Annie Eiffel with Healthier Glaze, but in this capacity, I'm serving as the chair for the Senior Citizens Prom. For those who don't know, for the past couple of years, a group of residents and organizations have come together to provide a social event for our seniors in our community. And so each year, and Mayor Babb knows this as well, we always invite the cities to support the senior prom in some capacity. The last time that we had it here in Pahokee, City of Pahokee provided us with the use of the facility for the event. So this year we also are including, we started including Clewiston as part of this as well, so it's actually Quad City. But we've included Clewiston, and I sent a letter to Ms. Bryant asking her to share with you guys. We're asking all of the cities to provide us with support of $1,050 to offset the cost for the senior prom, and this will be coming from all 4 cities. What that will include is for the, pay for the use of the facility, as well as, other items regarding the DJ, the, 360 machine, and other stuff. This event is at no cost to the seniors, and this was, the original brainchild of Miss Lynette Butts, who started this years ago before I even became part of this. And so Reverend Willie Lawrence has been in communication with all of the cities. I know he's been in close communication with both Mayor Kyles, Mayor Wilson, and I know they probably have gotten in contact with you, Mayor Babb, as well. So right now, we finally got the logistics. The event is June 6th, which is next Saturday. And we're asking everyone to contribute $1,050. We've already gotten our checks from Belglade. South Bay is getting ready to cut their check. Clewiston will be getting theirs at the end of this week. And we're just wanting to make sure that Pahokee was aware of this as well, with all the changes that have been happening with your leadership with city manager.
Just want to be clarified on that, $1,050?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Where is it at this year?
It's going to be at Lakeshore Lakeshore Middle School cafeteria. Yeah, last year was in Clewiston. This year is in Belglade, representing Lakeshore. I think next year, I want to say South Bay, and then Pahokee is after. But I'll confirm that and let you guys know. And so we want to make sure that we encourage all of our seniors in the areas of Belglade, South Bay, Pahokee, Canal Point, and Clewiston areas to come out. It's a Mardi Gras theme, purple, green, and gold. So come on out and have a good time. And I can tell you, Mayor Babb can attest to this, when we had it in Pahokee, the seniors had a good time.
Yeah.
So
What time is that?
it's from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m.
And what is the latest date you're gonna need the financial support, if at the latest? I know it's right around the corner, so
Right.
it's something we got to do
I know we
pretty
have
quick.
to pay for the space by Thursday.
And city manager and the clerk, I'm gonna say this, city attorney, I don't wanna be out of order. I just wanna make sure that a motion tonight could be at least made to authorize the city manager, if funds are available, to find a way to support this by donation of $150 tonight.
$1,050.
$1,050.
Well, the way that, and that's one of the things I was going to bring under my report, dealing with just things that you all consider emergencies to be within the discretion of the city commission, added language, so that it's not something that you get tagged on by other entities if anybody just wanted to call the IG or something. Here, it sounds like it doesn't really matter when you get the money, right? So if they had it on another agenda, the next agenda, you still get the check if they voted for that amount to be given to you, right?
As long as, yeah.
Right, so I'm thinking that you probably want to just put it on the next agenda, if there's a consensus about the purchase of it, and then put it on as a resolution, and then you'd approve it, and then you send her the check. As opposed to voting for it tonight, because it's not, at least considered under what some people may look at your code. And one of the things that I was gonna suggest is that what happens, the way it's written right now, your code, it doesn't even allow for the commission. It just has words like, for the protection of public health, safety, welfare. I mean, you could decide if you agree to change your code. But right now, I'm suggesting that since it's not an emergency issue necessarily, you can just put it on the next agenda.
But
So,
I thought in our budget, though, that the commission had a line item for the budget of a certain amount.
Okay.
You do.
so you want
Well,
to
if you haven't, have you,
Contribution to a community's organizational services.
Yeah, maybe and even with that, you all have been bringing those back, but maybe the manager knows. I just didn't want to put her on the spot and
Right.
say, I don't know how much has been used already. So,
Yes, we do. We do have that information available. The line item for the commission is $10,000, and there's $9,025 remaining in that line item.
so would the vote be for authorizing the city manager to utilize $15,000 of the, I'm sorry, $1,500, forgive me. $1,500 of the, I misspoke, I knew what it was, sorry.
That's okay.
Give you a real gift, right?
I know, right?
$1,500 of the.
No, $1,050.
$1,050
Right.
of the budget, okay.
Okay.
Okay. I appreciate that though, but yeah.
And when is the event? I thought you said it was June 6th.
It's June 6th, yes. We've been working on this thing since March.
Okay.
But it's been some I know I had brought it before, I brought it to Tammy's attention. I haven't had a chance to, and then with all the changes that happened, I haven't had a chance to sit down and have a conversation with Ms. Brenda. I think Reverend Lawrence has been having conversations. So I wanted to make sure that I was here tonight so that you were aware of what was going on.
So if we wait until the next meeting to vote on it, it's gonna be after the.
It will be after the fact, correct?
But she's allowing us to utilize, I mean, according to the thing, we can do it tonight because of the.
She has her discretionary budget.
Expression budget that's in our budget, the commission's budget to do it.
Okay.
So we have to put a motion on the floor.
Yes.
Mayor Bab, I move that we take $1,050 from the city commission's donation fund that's in there, in the line item in the budget for the senior prom.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Calvin Williams,
Yes.
Commissioner McPherson,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McDonald,
Yes.
Mayor Bab.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commission. Motion passed by unanimous vote.
And on behalf of the committee, I say thank you.
Thank you.
The next item on the list for me is the national the food distribution, which is the next item in your package. We received information, and there's a flyer as well, from the Office of Community Revitalization, and they are presenting a food drive in about 4 or 5 different cities, and one of those is Pahokee. It will be held on June 5th at the United Missionary Baptist Church, which is at 225 Bacon Point Road. The food drive will begin at 10 o'clock a.m. and it will continue until all the food is distributed. So this is informational, so we've already posted the information as well, so the community will know, but we ask everyone else to also share the information. The next item we have down, which you do not have in your packet, is the National HIV Testing Day event, which will be held on Friday, June 26th, and it will be held from 11 a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. at the People of Purpose office, which is in Belle Glade, Florida. It's 1079 Main Street in Belle Glade, Florida. And flyers also are created for that, so we will distribute those flyers. So this is informational. The next item on the list that I have is the cemetery backhoe purchase, which you have an invoice in your packet of the information, and it's an actual quote, and it has all of the information pertaining to the backhoe as I presented, I think at the last meeting. The cemetery is in need of a backhoe. Theirs is broken. It's been broken since November of last year, and so they've been renting to have the holes dug for graves. So we're in desperate need of a backhoe. The staff has researched, along with Public Works, the backhoe and trying to get as much information as we can to get the equipment that is more feasible and economical for us as well. And so in looking at the information, the selection that was made is this particular backhoe. And we meant to get a picture, and I forgot to include the picture in here for you. But it is a lease. We found that the most economical way to produce this is to lease the backhoe. It is a 2026 device. It will be delivered in 4 to 6 weeks or sooner. We're pushing them to get it sooner, but they are committed to 4 to 6 weeks after the request is made. The longevity of the backhoe, because we asked quite a few questions to make sure we're getting something that will last with us, and that's why we chose the new equipment instead of used equipment, because with the new one, we know where we stand. With the used, we don't know what the history is, and then it could break as soon as we get it shortly after. So the lifespan of this is 15 years, and what they said is longer if it's maintained properly. We are also looking at having the salesperson come out. He will do a training for the cemetery staff of how to use the backhoe to make sure that we are getting the best life out of it, and we're using it properly. The cost itself, with everything included, including extended warranty, which will be the backhoe come with 2 years warranty. Extended warranty will give us up to 2 more years. So we included that as well. There is no taxes. We do have the state contract rate as well. The total cost is $72,491.69. And with the lease on that, the lease cost is $1,072.54 a month. And that is acceptable to staff and to our budget, that we can safely pay that cost. At the end, if we decide to purchase the backhoe, the total cost will be $25,948.89. Or we could determine, based on where we are at that time, we can return it and lease a new backhoe. Our concern is making sure that we have equipment that will last with the city, and that we're not in a situation like we are now. And I presented that report to you all last month to show how much money we had spent on a backhoe since November, because there are funerals every weekend, and so we're having to rent a backhoe to come out and they dig the holes for us. So we don't want to be in that situation, and this is what we are presenting.
I have a question, Madam City Manager. So are you asking us, are you bringing this before us to bring back a resolution to approve this so that we can get the backhoe at the next meeting? Is that what you're bringing this before us, so that we can get it approved?
If we need to, but right now the dollar amount is over my limit for signing. And so if we need to bring back a resolution, we will do that as well, but we need the approval from the commission because it's over the $10,000 limit.
So that's what I'm saying. If you want to do that, is that what you're asking us to do tonight? Go
Yes,
ahead
we have
and
to
come back at the next meeting with a resolution?
Yes,
Okay.
we will.
That's what I'm going to clarify.
But I need you all to see the information so you know what we're leaning towards, and to make sure there are no questions from you as well.
So do we need a motion, Mayor Bab? for that?
No, we need to bring it back on another agenda. But it sounds like what you're saying, Ms. Bryant, is this will be a piggyback on a state contract? Is that what you're saying? You said
No.
you also have the prices from the state?
No, it is a state price that they're given because we are municipalities.
Right.
We were able to get the state rate, but we're not piggybacking on the state.
So what I mean by that is normally because you're able to get the state rate, the state has already procured it somewhere, which would be a good thing because otherwise you would have to procure it. And so if you found that there is a state contract and a state rate, it's probably because the state has procured maybe this service.
It could be.
And then
We
that
didn't
way it
ask
would be
that.
really easy and the city would then just piggyback on that,
Yeah.
right?
And that could be, because when we asked about the rate for municipalities, he told us there is a state rate and that we will receive the state rate. So that could be possibly the case. We didn't even go that route to ask.
That would be
Yeah.
perfect.
Yes. Okay. So we will return next month with a resolution so that we can move forward with the purchase.
And Ms. Bryant, this would just be a recommendation. I would recommend that we at least have another staff, maybe from our public works or even recreation department, set in on that training, since it's not gonna be a charge to us for taking the training. I don't know how difficult Black Hole would be to operate, but it certainly would be advisable to have at least one additional person to be able to use it in the event the two guys who are at the cemetery, one or two may be out for some reason.
So we will have 3, but we will get as many as we want. They don't charge for that, and there's no limit. So we have the 2 that's at the cemetery, as well as the supervisor will be doing the training, as well. But we can bring others over so that they will know how to operate.
Right.
But for the main part, we have 2 operators. But thank you, yes, we will.
I have a question. Did we send this out for equipment?
Well, that's what she's suggesting about, if we piggyback off of another, off of the state contract, then we don't have to put it out for procurement.
Okay, that's what I was asking. I was like,
No.
Oh, I have another question about this cemetery, because a lot of people call me about the cemetery. What are we doing about that? I mean, as far as the holes and whatever.
I have that on my report as well.
Oh, okay. All right.
Thank you. So the next item we have down is, in your packet, is the budget versus actual report. We talked about that at the last meeting as well. And you all suggested that you only need it once a month. And we selected the first month, the first meeting of the month. But I wanted to make sure that you had a report so you could see what's here. And if there was any questions you had or any changes, then you would do that as well. So the way that the budget versus actual report is created, on the left column, it has the charge codes, and as you'll see, the charge code for it, and then it has the name, the city commissioners. And so you'll have all of the line items that are under you. The next is the city manager with all the line items, so you can see the cost. And the first is the committed current month. This is how much that was spent in the current month for that line item. Then you have the committed year, the total amount that was spent during this year. The next 2 are pretty much the same amounts, but the current appropriation is what we want to use, because if there was any updates, it will be in the current appropriations. So you would use that amount. And then the available appropriation is the amount that's remaining in that line item. So you would know at all times what's there, just as it was today. Your line item is here, so you know how much money is remaining, how much funds is remaining in the contribution and sponsorship for the commission. So you would have that on a monthly basis, so you'll be making informed decisions when individuals are coming to ask for your donations. And in general, you'll be able to also see the other line items, so you'll know where the city stands overall. So I wanted you to have this for now, so you can have time to review it later. Any questions, you can just give us a call, give me a call, and we can explain anything else that you may have. But you'll see each department, which is how the budget itself is created and organized. The next item you have is the credit card and the fuel report, to give you an update of where that is. You have been asking for information, so you know where the credit cards stand each month, as well as where the fuel that the city vehicles are using. So you have that information, and we'll try to break it down even more if we need to, but this is where you have it. So on the fuel is landscape. So on the fuel, it has by department that you have, that's on the budget versus actual, and then you have the amount that has been spent for the year, and that for the year is starting October. So this is October 2025 to current, until May 2026. And the same on the other is the credit card report. So the credit card we have to you by month, trying to make it useful for you, and we'll see how we can break that down more as well. But this is by month, again, starting from the beginning of our year, which is October 2025 through April
Could we be provided the department like we have the other ones, so it can be a little more consistent?
That's what, yes, we're trying to get that, but in the system, it wasn't like that now.
Okay.
So we wanted to give you something.
Right.
And that's what we will work on to see if we can get it by department.
Okay.
I asked about that and by, and we have by month, but we'll try to work on the department's portion of it. But I wanted to put something in your hand today.
I just have one quick question, City Manager. As I look at the budget, I notice I see a lot of negatives. So when those, I guess you'll come back and explain to us where the money came from and how you're gonna get it back in the positive? Because I think these are some questions I've had before, because as I'm looking at this, I'm seeing a lot of negatives on here, that we're in the negative. And so, you'll come back and explain.
Yes.
Okay.
Once you're in the negative, unless you add more money, there's no way to get it back in the positive. But this will give us the tool to look at what's happening so we can correct those actions to make sure that in the future, we don't get in the negative. So we're able to drill through for each of the charge codes to see what was actually spent on that. And so we'll see the invoices and everything that came through so we can better manage that process. The next item, which, again, we forgot to place a letter, is the City Hall is right now infested with termites. And so within the code enforcement office, it is really bad. They couldn't even work in there for the last week. So we called out Terminex, and Terminex has looked at the building. They did a complete overview of the building, and there are termites throughout the building. It's just really bad in that one office. So they provided a schedule for us and asked that we, the best resolution is the tent of the City Hall so that we can fumigate the total City Hall to get rid of those. So what we've looked at is the schedule as well and trying to get times that are less problematic for the staff. And so we found a holiday, which is Juneteenth is the next coming holiday, June 19th. So we schedule it around that holiday. So the process that will occur, and I did the letters also in a letter to each of you, so you will have it in writing as well, is on Thursday, June 18th, the Terminex will arrive at 8:00 a.m. so that they can tent City Hall. That is on a Thursday, so that means that the staff at City Hall will work from home that day. Someone will be there with them to make sure that the City Hall is properly tented and secured. On June 19th, which is the holiday, around 12 noon, the Terminex staff will come back to remove the tent. On Saturday, they will come back around noon again, and then they will go inside the building to test the gas to make sure it is acceptable. The reason we had to schedule it that way is because Terminex does not do the gas testing on Sunday. Otherwise, we could have prevented the Thursday being off. And then on Monday, the staff will resume operations as normal in City Hall. Any questions?
How many staff will be affected? Everybody at City Hall?
Everyone in City Hall, because they have to tent the entire building. So those at City Hall will be affected by this, so they will work from home that day.
Okay. Are they all able to have work done at home? I mean, all of them gonna have what, computers and whatever they need?
Everyone except for the receptionist, but we can give her other items. But she is the only one, the attendant. Everyone else does have laptops and can work.
And I'm just asking,
No,
have we
that's a
looked
better
at,
question.
say, like, senior building and even
We
parks
did.
and recreation for those who can be out and around and about? Say, for instance, code enforcement, they drive around.
So they will still do what they need to do. When I say work from home, let me correct that. So the code enforcement, they are out driving around and doing what they need to do. So they will. With the others, what we looked at is how would they be able to take everything they need for that day, and would it be worth it taking what they need for that day to go to another location? And so that's what we looked at as far as the same.
Person that would arise if they work from home.
It's the same. It's the same. But if they're working from home, instead of them trying to take everything that they have right now and go to another location, there isn't a lot of locations that we have to sustain them at this point. Instead of moving everything around, yes, they could have their laptop, but in reality, and that's what we're looking at now. This is not happening until June, so we plan the schedule with Terminex so that we'll have that schedule and would not miss that date. But we have time to work with it. So that was the resolution that came up. From that point, we know that they cannot be at City Hall. So yes, we can look at other locations to see how feasible that is for them. But that was the thing. We can't not be in City Hall.
Right.
So from that, we have time to plan it, but I wanted to let you all know what the schedule looked like and that what will have to happen at City Hall. It needs to be tented.
Is
So-
Terminex someone that we have a contract with?
Terminex, yes. Terminex comes out on a monthly basis for us to spray. So this is the person that we currently have contract with.
How many workers do we have at City Hall that it's gonna affect?
It has, not counting the code enforcement, we have 2, 4, 10.
Because I'm
About
thinking
10.
that I'm like, I guess Mayor Bab, they can go over to the senior building or they can go over to Parks and Rec. And then I know we have a couple of offices here that's empty?
They have the big room that's empty, but not the offices.
And so a couple of them can
they-
get in there to get, I mean, I'm just thinking that maybe we can utilize
what
the
they-
space that we have.
I'll see what they have because the rooms that they have, I just toured the building. And so for that room, they have the students coming in at a certain time as well. And so those rooms are used.
This
Other than
space
the-
is
other than
available.
this-
Is
the
this
space.
available? Nobody's in here during the day, is it?
Yeah, I
No
guess.
one is using the chamber during the day. And it's on a Thursday too, so.
It's on a Thursday and we're off on Friday.
Yeah.
So yes, we can look at that as well. But I wanted to make you all aware that the City Hall will be tented. I didn't want you riding by and then you see a big tent on the City Hall and wondering. So that is the schedule because we had to complete the schedule with Terminex, otherwise they would not have it. They would not have it and will be pushed further back. And the termites are now flying in other rooms as well, other offices, so.
And I guess my concern would be, we would have to put out some type of notice and everything, when we're closed like that.
That we will,
And-
correct.
Yeah, so and then with us gonna be off that Friday and then close that Thursday if someone need to take care of business. So I guess that would have been my, concern as well.
Yeah. We would have to put notice out, correct. So either way, we will still have to put notice out if they come over to the chamber. We still have to put a notice out so they know where
Where to go, they can come
members
over
are.
here, over to the, yeah.
And Mr. Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
One of the things that I would suggest to the manager is that you put, since it's asking for a flex schedule maybe, and it sounds like you're still kind of working that out, but to the extent that you are, like for them to be off or work from home, that would be a resolution. So it will be a resolution coming back to you all, the day-to-day operations and how you have them work. If they're still working, but you have them working here as opposed to the, City Hall, that's your decision. But if they're actually taking time off or working from home, that should be approved by the commission. So, and then you can put in that resolution that, the hours, and then that would be a part of the notice in addition to a website and whatever else you may decide to do.
So we will look to, here, as you said, chamber will be available. So if the option would be, it will be here at chamber instead of going over to Parks and Rec because they will probably be moving quite a bit over there to accommodate the students. So as I said, the information has not been shared yet. I'm sharing it with you all first. So we have not distributed anything out to staff. The last item, and that is the last item. That is the last item on the list.
So I have a question. So are we gonna bring that back as a resolution, or is that just for discussion, or, it's happening in June? So I guess that's my question. What are we doing with that?
As the attorney just stated, we'll bring it back as a resolution, and then we'll have a final on that resolution as to where staff will be on that day, and what we will do as far as we still will have to close City Hall building itself. So we will still send the notices out to let everyone know where staff will be located on that particular day.
So for clarification, what I understood her to say was that if they're gonna work from home, that a resolution would be needed. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if we're gonna just have an alternative location for them, then we don't need the resolution.
Then we don't need the resolution, but we still need things in place
Of
to
course,
let
of
everybody else.
course.
That makes sense. Yes.
And also would
So we're not bringing a
advise you
resolution?
the commission building chamber or commission office is available too on that day. Could be used as 2 or 3, at least 2 offices there that can use the space if needed.
Okay.
I just thought I'd
Okay.
share that.
We'll work out the logistics of everything and then let you know exactly what will occur.
And the last thing I wanted to ask about the state audit, the report that I received as mayor, you was copied on the finance director. I'm just wondering what progress are we having on having a response to that? And that mainly dealt with the 3 items on our regular audit that had 3 consecutive years was in the.
So as I reported at the last meeting, the update to the OIG was presented. I did speak with someone in Tallahassee in that department. They called, and then when the report was received, they responded to say thank you for the report. They're reviewing it now. Their ask is that we give an update as to where we are and what has been. There has never been an official, you have to have whatever by certain dates. They're allowing us to get the information in place. So they were happy to see that they had a response, and we also updated what had been included and what had been completed. So I will get that report that was sent to the commission as well, so you all have a copy and you will know. But what was included in that is that the credit card policy and procedure were created.
No, I'm not talking about the OIG report.
You're talking about the
state audit.
The state audit report?
That indicated that for the last 3 years, the city marina, campground, and cemetery has been in the red. They want to know what was our steps of correcting that.
That was part of that report. The one that I saw that you sent over, and I got a copy of it as well. That was part of that report where they list out 4 or 5 different items
Right.
that had concern about, and that was to the OIG, and it was from the accounting standpoint. That was the only one that I
I'll
saw.
just make sure I print
Right.
it out and just make sure we're talking about the
Okay.
same report. I think it's a little different.
You think so?
because
Okay.
The report I'm talking about had a specific date and due date, and the event that it wasn't completed, it was indicating that funding could be held up.
Okay.
So whatever we're receiving from the state on reimbursement of any form will be suspended until we can show some type of corrected action that we're taking to not continue to be in that predicament in the future.
So I'll see what report you have,
I'll
because
just
that
make
was
sure
the
we're
one.
talking about the same
Okay,
one,
yes.
right, yeah.
That was the one that I had, and then we have the audit from the state, which we had the initial meeting with them today, and so we scheduled another date because there are some other items that they need that we need to be able to make sure that they have in time, so it's not a stop and start. So we had that meeting with HCT today, Mr. Harvey, and so we're continuing to work with them, and they said that what they will do is look at the information that we have, and so instead of starting today or tomorrow, they will push back a little, and they have it takes them estimate about 4 weeks to get the audit completed. And if it cannot be completed in that time frame, what they will do is they will write a letter and get involved with the process to say, this is what we're working on, this is what the estimated time frame will be. And so they said that they will be able to complete it within the window that's actually needed. That happens, but they will be there to support us as well to make sure we get through the audit. So I'll look at the other.
That's this year's audit.
That's last year's audit,
I mean,
2025
for
audit.
This past year, this year's
Correct.
audit not due yet, but.
Correct, for 2025. And so, Mayor, I'll look back and see as well, because those were the only two that I saw. So I'll look at that one and see the other. With the OIG, what they stated is that one of the penalties would be, if it was not answered, if you will, is that we would have to report to the audit committee in Tallahassee to present in front of them. And so we've already sent the information in, so that should suffice them, but we're continuing to update and to implement their recommendations throughout City Hall, throughout the city.
Thank you. Next, we'll have the report of the city attorney, if any.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I want to let you all know that one of the things in terms of kind of tackling some things in the code and consistent with what was worked on and before you for the special magistrate issues, there's also something that keeps coming up under emergency purchases, not once, but like multiple times now, where you have some language in your code of ordinances that says at any time in any budget year, the city commission may make emergency purchases to meet its pressing need for the protection of public health, safety, or welfare other than for regular or reoccurring requirements upon signature of the city clerk and approval of the majority of the commission members in session. Now, the way that it's been interpreted by other entities looking at this is that they will see it as this has to be like some kind of a declaration of emergency or something that the city commission wouldn't have the ability to determine in its own right, and like other cities. And so because that's been a multiple occurrence where this has happened, and most recently with the fireworks issue, I'm suggesting that provision in the code be modified to also add at the end of that sentence something along the lines of the determination of whether this provision meets the emergency requirements shall be within the sole discretion of the city commission, so that it's clear that when anybody or any body is looking at this language, that is within you all's discretion. If you believe, for instance, that it meets the welfare of the city to have fireworks for the 250th anniversary of the country, then that's something that you all would decide without worrying about whether or not there would be a, the IG or somebody else saying this wasn't an emergency. You follow me? So that's the intent, and I wanted to bring that back to you and let you know that I wanted to do that amendment as kind of a proactive measure and put it before you for the next commission meeting. That's all. That's my report.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I have one other I left off about the cemetery that Commissioner Scott asked about. So there was another call that was received on Sunday that the hogs had come back to the cemetery. And so what I did is spoke with the supervisor there to see just how bad it was. He was supposed to take pictures of it, but he took the crew out to correct the issue. We've talked about what we need to do to put a permanent solution in place and what that permanent solution would be. So they do call out the person that we have working with them that will trap the hogs and then take them away. So he has a trap. He puts a trap out whenever they call him to say we need to trap out. So we're looking at, can the trap remain there, and just how large is the trap, so to see how many hogs it will catch, because I don't know, and they didn't know the answer to that because he comes out at night and then he comes back and get the next morning, so the trap is gone. The other thing we're looking at is what are some of the solutions we can put in place so we're not dealing with this on an ongoing basis. So we're looking at different devices that we found that with the sound system mess up their equilibrium, and so that keeps them away as well. The other is fencing in the cemetery, which will be extremely costly and could continue to have repairs done. One of the other solutions that we've come up with so far is to dig a ditch around the cemetery so that the hogs will not get to the cemetery, and then the person that will come and take the hogs away once they fall into the ditch. So those are the three solutions that we have so far, because this has been happening. When I talk to them over 15 years, and what they do is they just keep coming in, the Public Works just keep coming and patching up and correcting it. So we need a permanent solution in place so we don't continue to have to deal with this. So we're researching those to see what the cost would be. The putting the device down that would put out the sound waves is a quick solution. So we can go for that to see how well that will work while we're looking at the others and see what it would be in order to dig a ditch around as well. And since we're getting the backhoe, that will be another thing that we could use, a tool that we could use to build that we could possibly do that ourselves. We would have to also look at permitting and everything else that's needed, so that's what we're looking at now to see what it would take. But we're trying to come up with permanent solutions to put in place.
One thing I would suggest too, if we go with the sound wave, I know that's a quicker solution, but I don't know how effective it would be. Right. So we try to at least get some references of places and use them before. Because they'll sell them everywhere. These will run off rodents, everything, and they ain't gonna run off anything. I'm not saying that won't work, but there's a lot of misleading information out there on those.
But that one would not be as costly, that we could try something to put in place to see if that worked while we're coming up with a regular permanent solution, because the others will take a little time to put in place. That is it. I just wanted to include that one because I left it off, as the commissioner asked about.
Next, we'll move to future agenda items of the commission, if any, and I'll start with Commissioner Mike Fearson to see if he has anything you want to add to a future consideration for a future agenda item.
Yes, one of the things you brought up the marina as for the budget and stuff for it. Can we put on the agenda to maybe start preparing or to put it out for RFP for the marina and the restaurant? To try to, and that would help generate some positive funds for the marina also.
And we need to make a decision on, are we putting out just for the restaurant now, or try to do all three entities at one time, restaurant, campground, and marina? One individual could get all three, or it could be split up among three different vendors if we decide to go that route and just asking that we have that under consideration, at least give the city manager some direction on how we need to go about doing it. I think they all need to be out as quick as we can get them out.
Well, could we do two separate ones, one for the campground and one for the marina? And then there's a possibility that the people can put in for both, but if somebody else get the restaurant, then it won't hinder the restaurant from moving forward. I'm just asking, is that feasible, Attorney?
You can do any number of things. You can do all three, you can do them individually, you can do one proposal and allow people to bid for whatever they want within that one proposal. But what you have to keep in mind is whatever you do, it should be sent to the state first.
Yes.
So that they can approve it.
Absolutely.
Prior to.
And I think at the last, is that clarified, or do I need to elaborate on that one some more?
Just if you can clarify the motion for the minutes, that'd be great.
Well, put out the restaurant, I would say, I would recommend do two separate ones for the campground and for the marina.
So two RFPs, one for the restaurant and then one for the campground and marina?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're combining, are you suggesting we combine the campground and marina? I was
No,
thinking
two.
we just do 3 separate.
I said
or-
two separate ones. Two
That's-
separate ones.
That's 3. It's 3 different entities though. You got the campground, you got the marina,
Well, I'm
and you
not-
got the restaurant.
The marina and the campground can be together.
I'm just saying both of those
Well,
are different.
We'll make it simple. We'll put out for all 3.
Yeah.
But we need to,
So 3 separate?
yes.
Okay.
And I think at the last meeting, I think I had made a motion. I think we were looking at the Parks and Recreation had been meeting, and they put on the discussion for the budget process, which we have a portion of the budget. I have the budget now before us. I would like to put it on there that we can start looking, put it on the next, maybe even for discussion, if the city manager can do some research to see what it would take to get a engineer or somebody that's expert that could look at the park and see what needs to be done to,
I'm sorry, is it possible to vote on the first one so I can
Okay, yes.
get that clarified?
The first one is to have an RFP for the 3 entities, the marina, the restaurant, and the campground, for discussion of a future agenda item.
Second.
Has been moved in second. Call for question. Hearing none. All in favor. Roll call.
Commissioner McPherson?
yes.
Vice Mayor McDonald?
Yes.
Commissioner Calvin Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Scott?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Motion passed by unanimous vote.
And the second one was for the discussion of the budget, which we have a copy of the budget. The last meeting, I think we talked about the Parks and Recreation Board that met, and they wanted to get some type of engineer to come out and look at the park to see what needs to be done. I don't know if there's a contract with the county, some that we can possibly piggyback off of. If not, we can look at it for, just do some research, and then we can put it on the agenda for
So,
discussion to see what it may cost.
through the mayor, engineering is a CCNA service, and so you all have a document that I gave months ago
Okay.
to
Previous city manager.
yeah, I've given it. So if you do that, you can do a lot of different services,
Okay.
architecture, engineering, all of that. Or you could just procure engineering services alone. There may be other professions that may be even less costly that could do an analysis of parks that may be more appropriate than necessarily an engineer just for that.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's a management issue, and so I guess the manager will look at it and bring back what she thinks is appropriate, and I'll review it.
Okay. Are you going to send her the information that you had sent to the previous?
She has it,
Okay.
and it's not her. I've sent it to like the
Several.
last 3 or 4 managers.
Managers, yes. Okay. That's it.
Okay. Commissioner McDonald. Vice Mayor.
I don't have anything at this time.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioner Collins.
Yes, I'm just gonna talk about the one item, with the lure coming tonight. If we can put on the June 9th meeting, the manager could look in the budget to see the $5,000 donation for lure, for the feasibility and the marketability study.
Second.
It has been moved to second. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Calvin Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner McPherson?
Yes.
Commissioner Scott?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McDonald?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Motion passed by unanimous vote. Commissioner Scott.
Yes, I have one thing. We need, I'd like to just put on the agenda to have, see when we gonna start getting the agenda, not day of, but we need to set a date when we expect it to receive them. That's my thing, because I know one time, other commissioners, they said 5 days, but I don't know, did they vote on it, did it pass or whatever, but we need to come up with a date, because giving it the day of, it ain't making sense.
Yeah. Be honest, previously it was passed for 5 days. I know that was considered tight for staff, but that was actually on record of being passed, that we
Okay.
were requesting agenda 5 days prior to the next meeting.
I know,
But we can always
I
kind of
never
adjust
received the
that
5
and
days,
look
but
at
I'm just
something.
saying, but the day of,
Right.
this kind of, that's kind of tight.
I mean, it's, the 5 days, I think, would be sufficient.
No, I'm not saying nothing wrong with it, I'm just saying, we never received it 5 days, I never received 5 days in advance. I understand that's what they voted, but I'm just saying, we never got that. I'm not saying, I do prefer to get it in 5 days, but if we don't, then, I mean, I won't be pushing that, but the day of, that's too tight.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Especially when you got a thick packet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go through it and do your research.
That was done with the previous city manager, so we'll want to add that to the agenda and maybe get staff input a little for consideration. I would say at least 3 days maybe in advance, but between 5 and 3, but kind of give them a little breathing room, but certainly not the day before or day of to have an agenda done. We got to just set our goals a little better than that. But we're gonna put it on there just officially to have it voted upon in a resolution or whatever we need to have done to bring back to say this is a commission request from staff to have agendas presented to us at least by 3 days prior to the next meeting or whatever we come up with the exact dates. But between 3 to 5, I put it that way.
I'll second.
Okay, been moved in second. Go ahead on.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to catch the clear motion. You guys want to do what again now?
You see the agenda, he said at least 3 to 5 days. within
Okay.
3 to 5 days.
Okay,
Might as well say 5, because
Well,
3
5.
days.
So 3 to
will be a
5?
We just say
weekend.
5, and if it be 3, then.
It's already
you're
currently
already
five.
for
Thing for
5.
5 days.
so
Oh, but
We just need
change
some
it.
adherence. We need some adherence is all, 'cause
Okay, yeah.
certainly we need time to review what we're going to be
So
looking
it's
at.
still-
I don't think we probably don't need to change it, we just probably need to, like, just try to, you know. Okay, to it, so.
so we're adding or we're not? Trying to.
If it's already there.
If it's on there, we'll live
Well,
with
what I'm-
that,
well-
knowing that that's our requirement is to have at least
Well, I
about
have,
3 days, between 3 to 5 days at a minimum.
I have a question. If there was a resolution, why are we putting another resolution? I think we just need to adhere to the resolution.
That's what we're saying we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not gonna add another
You
resolution.
could amend that if you wanted to make it 3, and then that would be a resolution amending that other resolution and making 5 days, 3 days, if that's your motion. Or if it's just 5 days and that's what you all want to keep, that's already on your books.
I think we just keep 5 days and then, you know, we
Okay.
understand if it's 3, it ain't be no big deal, but just let it stay, right?
And I've been trying to find that resolution myself, and I couldn't find it. I remember it was voted on.
I could send it to
us,
you. We have it on file.
Okay. Yeah, I just couldn't find it.
Okay, so I'll just scratch this, if that's the pleasure of the commission.
Okay,
I do have a question, because I know this has been an extensive conversation that we've had with every manager that comes, that we've been having difficulties getting these agendas within the 5 days and meeting what was, I would just like to, if maybe I can get some clarity or understanding. I mean, so it has to be something, what's causing it, or I know it may not be no one specific thing, but maybe explaining to the commission, you know, and yes, we do need time to read the information, definitely not the day of, but, you know, the 5 days, and why is it, I guess it's so difficult, because I know since I've been here, each manager has had that concern, if maybe we can get some clarity, maybe more understanding on, you know, the difficulty with meeting the 5 days.
It's a lot of moving parts. You set an agenda, you have to contact whoever gonna be presenting, get information from them on what they're gonna be presenting on. 5 days is a quick turnaround, to be honest. It's only a week that you have to work with to get this agenda in our hands. Means that every other week, twice a month, is a short turnaround. 5 days is a lot. I mean, it can be done, but it's pressing. It is.
My thing is, it's not the responsibility of any one person.
Yeah.
And so you gotta have a deadline for those items that are gonna be included in the agenda and stick to it. You can't, at the last minute, present something to be added to the agenda. And so if you have a deadline, everything that is going on the agenda for a particular meeting, then you work with those items that have been presented before that deadline or by the deadline. And then you don't add, you know, stresses to yourself or to whomever by trying to add something at the last minute. I mean,
I just want
just
to,
have to go on the next one.
I don't know if Commissioner Scott, I mean, is in agreement to it, but if we can amend the previous resolution to move it to 4 days in advance, and put it on record to do the 4 days. But if you want to file, I mean, this is your motion.
Oh, he's already stated that even if they give it to us up to 3 days, that's gonna be fair and okay with him, okay with the commission.
3 days is a weekend, so,
One person was,
I mean,
said 4.
We're talking about 3
What's your
business days,
motion,
though.
Scott?
We're talking about 3 business days. So we're not talking about a weekend
okay.
and counting the
Either way,
days.
you will be getting it Thursday or Friday or whatever. You're gonna be getting it like, you know, Tuesday of the meeting, the day of the meeting. No, I'm just saying, I just leave it like that. Leave it with 5 days, and then whatever how it falls, we understand. Well, I understand. I don't know if they understand.
No,
but
I
understand.
totally agree with you.
Yeah,
We don't,
yeah.
we need, you know.
But you're right
going in there
about
on the day
trying to
before.
put everything on the agenda. Some days, if they don't meet the deadline, then they don't get on the agenda unless it's an emergency. You just leave
And
that
then it
stuff
can't
off.
be no emergency if it's going on
And
the agenda.
going
Yeah.
back to the vice mayor question, even some of the backup that we was asking required a lot of researching and putting together, and that kind of helped delay it. I'm just not making excuses for staff, but I'm just showing you some of the reason that 5 days was pretty tight. It can be done, but it's a tight turnaround when you're doing it with staff.
And my reason for making my statement, I don't think we should have rules. We should have attainable goals, and if the rules are there, we should follow them. So if we feel like that is too strange or too light, let's amend it to make it attainable, but still get the job done in a timely manner. Because if the rule, it shouldn't be, we can do it if we want to. If it's a rule, we need to follow what the rules say do. But I'm, with the option of moving it up to 4 days, but it's. But I mean, I just don't believe in having rules and we're not following them.
I think what the vice mayor said made more sense. It's just that they got a cutoff date.
So what?
They have a cutoff date. It's when you can
Yeah,
add stuff.
that's
If you don't make the
fine.
cutoff, then they don't make the agenda.
Okay. All right, we're gonna move to general public comments.
Well, I mean, what are we doing?
Oh, that was to add to it.
We say we're gonna keep it as is already stated, the 5
Leave
days.
it like it is. And this is what they make their cutoff.
General public comments, city clerk, do we have any public comments cards?
No, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we'll have commission comments for the good of the order, and I'll start with Commissioner Scott and work myself this way to the left. Commissioner Scott.
No, I don't have anything.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Williams.
I just want to say good evening to everyone and thank everyone that is listening, that has come out tonight. Residents, thank you for coming. We thank you for taking out of your busy schedules and didn't find it robbery to be here to see what's going on in your city. So I want to say thank you for being here tonight. But I want to report that on hold on a minute. May
13, 14.
14th and 15th, I went to a leadership conference and it was very, very educational. We learned a lot of tools that we can come back to our community and use, and so we look forward to implementing a lot of them in a positive way and moving our city forward. So that was the leadership training after we completed EMO 1 and 2. So it was a very good training. We really enjoyed it. We had dynamic speakers there. We had people there that have been city managers, that have been on the council. They are now consultants, and we really learned a lot of good information from them. And so it comes after the EMO 2 training. So they had a treat for us. And also we got to see the new Florida League of Cities building that we purchased. So if all commissioners get an opportunity, they have a new building up in Orlando. And I think they said were we the first or the second class there? The second class, and we have our own building now that we don't have to pay anyone to use our buildings for our trainings. And then they're doing some good things with the building next door that they have, where we can have different events. They're going to be renting it out as well. And so that also we really enjoy. So whatever I'm learning, we'll bring it back and try to implement it in our community. Again, I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve you, and I look forward to continue to serve you, and have a good night. Oh, one more. Don't forget about the criminal justice workshop that they're going to be having in Belglade at St. Paul. Commissioner McDonald is going to be one of the guest speakers there. Commissioner McDonald, my phone went out. Do you have the day? Is it June 13th? June 13th. So if we can, I would love to see the city of Pahokee be able to get their after care program students and take them there. They have a lot of good events set up for the students there as well. And so if we can, let's try to make sure we take our kids down to St. Paul on that day at 10 o'clock. And I'm going to be there as well, volunteering. So I'm looking forward to it. The sheriff department, and they have a lot of great seminars they're going to have talking about our kids, talking to the kids about what your foods are you get in jail, what your bed look like in jail. So I think this would be a good event for our youth to go to and take advantage of it and see exactly what goes on in the jail. So if you're not doing anything that day, please, let's take the kids to that event, and I think it will be a great event.
Vice Mayor McDonald.
I have a question before I make my comments. Did we establish a contract with the UNCF? Does anyone know? I know they petitioned that we contract with them with regards to the scholarship entity that they provide. Did we do anything with that?
I do not, but I can research it and see. I do not, but I can research it and see.
Okay. So, good evening to everyone, and again, thank you all for coming out. I do continue to solicit your help as well as your support with regards to the job that we have before us, which is Progress Pahokee. And truly, it is something I'm sure that we all desire to see. But it's not just the commission's job, it's the community's job, it's everybody's job that we do what we need to do to progress Pahokee. So again, if you have a contribution that you would like to make, just, come on out and join us as we do the work for the city of Pahokee and our citizens. Also, this time of year, there's been several homeowners workshops being held. And I do believe that next month, I believe on June 9th, as well as, I want to say June 23rd or thereabouts. There's a flyer possibly on the table back there with regards to those workshops and where they're going to be held. I think at the City of Belglade Municipal Library. Those two are going to be held, but there's been several, and there's probably going to be more as the year goes on. So certainly if you're interested or you know someone else that might be interested, take a flyer and share that with them. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your evening.
Commissioner McPherson.
Good evening, citizens. I just want to thank you all for giving me an opportunity to serve you, and I'll continue to do my level best as far as moving our city forward. And I want to ask that you help join us. We have several boards that have vacancies on them. Bring your ideas and get on the board and volunteer and help to move our city forward. We can't think of everything. We need your input, and on those boards, you'll be able to provide your input and help to move our city forward. I myself also attended the leadership training on May 13. Just piggybacking on a little bit of what Commissioner Collins stated, it was very informative and gave us some, a lot of positive tools to help bring back to our, help us to be better leaders, I should say. And again, we can't do it by ourselves. We need your input. We need your ideas. We need everything that you can bring to the table to help us to move the city forward. We're much better when we're united, and we're much stronger. With that, I just again want to thank you all, even the ones that attended the meeting, and have a blessed night.
City Commissioners, having successfully taken care of all business brought before us, I'll entertain a motion for the adjournment of this meeting.
Second.
It has been moved in second. Call for question. Hearing none. All in favor. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Meeting adjourned at 8:24 p.m. Thank you.